BigFive team for what is clearly a fantastic conference that they have put together over the last 3 days. For those of us that have been here throughout this time, there's been lots of learnings. In fact, so much learning that when you're speaking at this stage in the conference, you kind of run out of ideas and you realize that most of the things that you are going to say have been said. So either I lie to you or I get very creative somehow, but let's see how we can get through this 20 minutes without any of us feeling like yawning. Is that okay?
Yes.
Great. So, as my good friend Mr. Paul Planter said, my name is Lyndon, and I'm here to talk about the service imperative. I have been with Trudon, which is the publishers of the Yellow Pages in South Africa, for just under 3 years now. Prior to this, I worked with a company that I believe many of you will know, called Accenture, which is one of the leading management consulting firms in the world, pushing digital transformation as one of their main areas of focus. Prior to that, I worked for Vodacom, South Africa's iteration of the Vodafone brand, as you will know, globally, and the Business Day and several other brands that I've been involved with. I have not worked for 30 years, like some people who have been here before me have stated, so I do not have 30 years worth of experience to dip from. I do have a few years, and I'm hoping that with that little bit of context, I can be able to share something that you can take with you today. We are the Yellow Pages in South Africa, and some of the other Yellow Pages companies in the room can relate sometimes, where we have to almost explain ourselves or to a certain extent apologize for existing when you're telling people I work for the Yellow Pages, and they're like, what? That book? That old book? Do you still exist? Really? No, because the last one I saw was propping up a shaky table. Right? And this is a perception that we've had to live with over the years, and that we continue to live with. But here in South Africa, we've made we've put in a lot of effort and investment in changing this narrative, to actually turn perception of the market away from just viewing us as the publishers of a prop, so to speak, but rather to a solutions company. So it gives me great pleasure to introduce us as a digital marketing services company that happens to do some print. Our present is digital, and our future is most definitely digital. And when I speak about solutions, this speaks to the fact that we live in a changing world. People will go on and on about Industry 4.0, and how, you know, the fourth industrial revolution speaks to, you know, digital transformation and disruption and all those other big words that you've heard a million times from a million people who didn't fully understand what they were all about. And understand, it's not their fault that they didn't understand. The reality is, we are finding ourselves in a continuous state of change. In fact, one of the things that's coming out of Accenture a lot of late, if you've engaged with them, is the fact that they don't even refer to it as Industry 4.0 anymore. They feel if you put a number to it, then it becomes an absolute value, and you lock it in. You cannot lock in digital transformation. You can't box it. You can't manage it in that way. So Accenture are coming out and they're saying that they will call this Industry X.0, where, as an industry, we are continuously looking to solve for the next problem, for the next customer requirement, for the next client's need, for the next big thing, whatever that is. So if you are a rock star today at SEO, I have no idea what that's going to be like in a year. Absolutely none. When people started bandying voice search and that sort of thing, initially a lot of us said, yeah, besides, this is South Africa. By the time that thing figures out the Xhosa accent. Yeah. But hey, it's taking over, and the world is changing. And with that change comes the need for us step up our service levels, to bring ourselves to that place where we can deliver for our customers in a manner that meets their ever-changing, ever-evolving, transforming needs. So that is the brief that they gave me. I will try and stick to it within 20 minutes. Strategic investment in the back office fulfillment and services side will, under any circumstances, help you manage your churn. And this whole churn thing is a problem. People walking away from us. People don't just walk away. In fact, happy customers don't churn. They don't leave. Why would they leave? They're happy. They're satisfied. They're getting what they need from you. You're meeting their requirements. You're engaged. They feel that you understand them. You think you understand them. And it's working. So they don't leave. They will never leave as long as they're happy. So if your customers are going to leave, I can assure you, it is not the fault of your competitor. They're not the ones with the problem. The problem is you. The problem is me. We are the ones who have failed at some point in our delivery value chain to an extent where there is now a disconnection between what was sold and what is being delivered, and the customers are feeling we would rather walk away. So take it to the bank. It's like a jilted lover. When he or she dumps you, and you start thinking, no, they're so bad. They're so bad. They're not going to dump you if you've been good to them, right? But you get what I'm saying. They're not going to leave if they're happy. So they will leave if you have done something fundamentally wrong, right? And in order to potentially, or rather to study this a little more, there are certain strategic investments that every business needs to make in order to make sure that you are delivering on the level that meets the needs of your customers. We call them investments because they will take money. It's too bad we don't have our CFOs here because they give us a lot of trouble asking for money for things that they feel are just costs. And we're saying, no, it's not a cost.
How much?
It's an investment, right? But there are strategic investments we need to make in transforming our businesses into the kinds of service businesses that minimize churn, that guarantee growth through effectively happy customers. Strategic investment number one, and this has been talked about black and blue over the last few days. You need to invest in your data. You need to know what your data story is. Invest in good data management tools that manage how you store your data, how you take care of it, how you keep it current. Invest in good data and analytics tools that tell you the state of your market. Who is your market? Like George mentioned earlier, he and I were talking about how the market is no longer a finite thing. It's not, just because you're selling to plumbers. There's 3 or 4 types of plumbers. Electricians are completely different depending on where you are. Potentially sometimes in the same neighborhood. Lots of different factors that speak to what kind of customer you're speaking to. One can be sophisticated and can have all kinds of sophisticated mobile payments and point of sale, and the other guy can't even issue you with a receipt. If anything, just pay cash, right? But they have such diverse realities that you need to be speaking to. And in order to know this, how about we stop guessing and we invest in the kind of tools that help us to know exactly who our market is. Another big thing that we battle with, and as the Yellow Pages, we were basically providing a service to everybody. But a reality that we're starting to find is that we can no longer be all things to all people. That ship has sailed. We now need to be very clear on exactly who we're speaking to. what our story is when it comes to those people. Mark, I think, spoke about the changing customer journeys and how these things are evolving on the go and so forth. It's become a very, very complex service industry at this stage in our history as human beings, that if you think you're going to figure out that complexity on a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet, good luck. Invest in the kinds of tools that guarantee that you can have best-in-class insights, in-depth understanding and knowledge of your market and where you need to go. And this filters right through across the whole spectrum, from product design to all aspects of usability and user interfaces and all of that. And guarantees that what is coming out on the other side actually speaks to a real qualified need. You get that right, they're not leaving. Fact number 2. If you think good design is expensive, you should see the cost of bad design. This to me is one of those things that the CFOs really should have been here for. Because sometimes as businesses we're so fixated on saving cost, we're so cost management driven, that we are completely blindsided by the reality that our market is ever changing, it's diverse, its needs are exponentially evolving throughout time, and we are just working with the quickest, most expedient option that costs the least and just gets us across the line, and we can say we ticked that box and we met that KPI. The reality is the KPIs are going to start falling. We're going to start missing them if this is how we view things. So the second strategic investment, as far as that's concerned, you need to invest in productivity. You need to have best-in-class CRM tools that help you plot out your workflows, productivity tools that help to manage what your people are actually doing, so that you understand and know your points at which you need to come in and intervene, the points at which you need to come and optimize a system or a process or a person sometimes. But you need to have that visibility. You need to have smart productivity platforms that actually help to deliver your services in a timely manner. So I'm not going to promote some of our partners who are in the room, but we've recently gotten to a place where we had to ditch a partner and add some of the work that that ditched partner was doing onto another partner for multiple reasons. We found that if we do this, the manner in which we can execute on behalf of our customers is significantly optimized, the speed to market is substantially improved, the quality of the reporting is a lot easier and clearer for the customer to understand. It just made sense. Smart productivity platforms, you need to invest, and they do not come for free. I can tell you that. I have a few CROs in this room that are making a lot of money from me because these things do not come for free. But these are strategic investments that we must make if we're ever going to be the kind of service organizations that are pertinent going into the future. Efficient delivery, ongoing optimization and scalability, looking at how we are not just fit for purpose today, but how fit for purpose we are going into the future. That is also a very important strategic investment. And number 5 on that is reporting and customer visibility. If you're ever going to have an effective service organization, to something George was saying just now, you've got to have such clear channels between yourself and your customers, guaranteeing that your customers feel that they understand what's going on with their work. They understand what's going on with their campaigns. They understand exactly where everything is, and they feel that you are interested enough in the success of their campaigns, and you're engaged enough, and you're driving them towards success. If you don't have that, frankly, good luck. Fact number 3, Improved productivity means less sweat, not more. Working harder versus working smarter. Once again, we talk about digital transformation and how everything is supposedly becoming slick and going into this space where we'll just automate the whole world, and eventually we can just sit up somewhere and use voice search instead of typing, because according to some people, typing is too hard. You're gonna have fat fingers if you don't type, but that's just my opinion. But the reality is, again, improved productivity means less sweat. Why should we apply ourselves strenuously to processes, to tasks, and that sort of thing, when we can invest in systems and platforms that optimize all of that for us? Now, as a Yellow Pages business, we've gone through some pretty radical transformation, frankly. We were established in South Africa in 1950. And right up until about 2001, we did not have a website. So that is 51 years of doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. We sell according to what we call canvas cycles. Some of the Yellow Pages people will know the language, right? Which means you sell for that particular book during this time, and then you move on to that other book for that period, and so forth. And digital has come in and just it's disrupted all of that. Because suddenly, where you could park a customer and literally not speak to them, like Paul said earlier, for 11 months, that has changed. Now you've got to be speaking to them all the time. Complexity, once again, which you cannot manage if you're trying to pull this off on a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet. You've got to invest. You've got to invest in systems that bring you to a place where such complexity is manageable. And we could complicate this and start talking about AI tools and a whole lot of other things that help you along this journey. We're not going to do that because Mr. Paul Plant is standing. But we will try and wrap this up quickly. The final big investment that I think is critical is people. Now, when all is said and done, we can talk about investing in people's competence, investing in a good working culture and that sort of thing. Customer centricity has been mentioned, but the thing that matters the most going into the future is getting our people future fit by changing mindsets. Getting them to understand that yes, you were a rock star at this thing, but the definition of a rock star 20 years ago and the definition of a rock star going into the future are very different. Today's rock star is the best guy in the world at holding this bottle up. But the future rock star will be one who understands that you need to hold a bottle and a fork and a spoon and whatever else it is that is required at that point to be effective. So this is someone who is evolving with the times, someone who understands that they need to continuously learn and develop themselves and become a better version of themselves. Finally, 100%, and this is a statistically proven fact. You can take this to the bank, right? Statistically proven. You can test it if you like, right? But 100% of the shots you don't take, they will not go in. We need to invest in the service, imperative. Thank you very much.